one of my coaching sessions, I had the honor of hearing this conversation from Gary. And if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. If not, never mind. Gary said, I love people. I want for them the very best. However, sometimes people don't give their best, and they put the mission in jeopardy. Whoa, whoa. Think about that quote. In fact, write it down. One of my team leaders has it written on his wall. I love people. I want for them the very best. However, sometimes people don't give their best, and they put the mission in jeopardy. There is a certain amount of people in life that have contributed every minute of their day to their career and to their goals. And, you know, good example would be Mother Teresa, an amazing woman that spent her whole life working around people that were sick and contagious, and took vows of being constantly poor, and it's just an amazing woman. I look up to her. I, on the other hand, I'm no Mother Teresa. When I'm at work, I'm here to get paid. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to treat my customers amazing. But after work, I'm going to be done. The only way that you can have a massive business is if you understand that listings are leverage. That listings are the way that you can build a huge business. Now, why is that? Well, a good real estate agent should be able to handle 40 or 50 listings on their own, 40 or 50. Now, a good buyer's agent should be able to handle 8 to 10 buyers at any given time. So which one pays you more money? Crazy, huh? I want you guys to think about being a Mother Teresa after work, which means you're going to get off by 5 or 6. You're going to go home. You're going to be an amazing parent, an amazing spouse. You're going to have energy, happiness, love, money, all those things left over for the amazing people in your life. But you're going to have to do that after 5 or 6. During the day, I don't want you to be a Mother Teresa. During the day, I want you to be a hustler. I want you to work hard, figure out how to turn this into a life worth living. Well, a life worth living means that you don't work all the time. And a business worth owning. A business worth owning means that when you're not at work, you actually still get paid. Imagine that. I mean, imagine if you sat back and you closed your eyes and you imagined yourself on vacation if you didn't have to check your email, if you didn't have to check your phone. What would your life be like? Imagine if every day you're at convention, you still closed houses. And then a career worth having means that it's going to last a long time, and you're going to have reserves. Reserves, things set aside for when things get tough to always take care of your family. This is why this class is so absolutely important today. Let's talk about the relationship between leads, listings, and leverage. In our business, let me ask you a question. If you had a listing, would you generate sign calls? Well, yeah, we would. And those sign calls would be called what? Leads. If you had a listing, could you generate Craigslist leads? Could you generate leads from Zillow, Trulia, online? Would you get sign calls, flyer calls? Would you have people come to your open houses? Would you increase the size of your database? See, listings give you leads. And let me ask you a question again. If you had more leads than you could handle, what would you need? Well, it's on the screen. I'm kind of giving you guys a cheater, but you need leverage. Leverage, I mean staff. People that could work with you and have an amazing life and have a good income themselves. If you had more staff, what would you have more time to generate? You get it? You have more time to get listings. That's what I'm talking about today. If you get listings, you will have leads. If you have more leads than you can handle, you can afford leverage like an assistant, whoa, or leverage like a buyer's agent or showing agent, so that you have more time to get listings. Now, our team, fantastic, best year we've ever had last year. We sold 585 transactions. By the way, Julien's sitting here in the room with me today. Our goal was 600, so you know what that conversation sounded like, being 15 deals short of your 600 goal. We sold 600 transactions almost last year, 585. And I spent about 5 or 6 hours a week on my team. Five or six hours. Now, this is a great opportunity for you guys. Think about taking this call today and say, how can I apply it in some way so I could right-size these ideas today into being something that fits in my life to have the right-size business. Now, making sure that all you guys are on the screen, I want to make sure that you guys can see the slides that are on my screen right now. Type into the box and tell me what you see on the screen real quick for me. A couple volunteers, real quick. Somebody wrote balls. That's amazing. Those are circles. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you. We're good. Let's carry on. So there's different types of lead tools out there that you can buy, that you can create, that you can have. Now, I don't care if you make these yourselves. I got friends that stay up all night working on websites. That's cool. Whatever you want. Or you could buy them off the shelf. I don't care. But you got to have some tools, right? A builder, a farmer without tools, they don't create any products. So let's talk about some tools. Well, the kind of tools that we've been used to as real estate agents is, hey, we need these buyer sites. So if you here be like your standard, you know, if you're with Keller Williams, your e-edge site, or if you go out there and you're getting Market Leader Professional, or you're getting a Boomtown site, you're getting these sort of buyer sites. And the buyer sites, what they are is they're a place where buyers come to search for properties. See, buyers could care less who you are. They aren't going there looking at your photos of your dogs or your designations or any of that kind of stuff. What they're really looking for is properties. And a good buyer site is going to be one of those sites where if you look at one property, it shows you everything that you want to know. But when you click on the second property, it asks you to register. Well, this isn't rocket science. We've been telling you about these tools for a long time, and most of you guys use them. Your only question for your buyer side of the business is, do you have enough people going there, which we can do another call on later. Right now, let's talk about the tools we need for our listing business. Now, this is what I look photoshopped, spray tanned. I do this because I don't want anybody to recognize me in the grocery store. But basically, this site is what I call a seller site. A seller site is a place where a consumer would go to research an individual. Now, I don't believe that consumers hire companies. They don't hire Windermere, Remax, Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, Century 21, Better Homes and Gardens, Exit. They don't hire them. They hire individuals. And it's the individual's brand that matters. It's your brand. That's why you cannot be hanging up for sale signs that brand your company all over the place. You need to be branding you. You need to have a Ben Kinney listing. Well, not a Ben Kinney. Well, you're welcome to, but you know what I mean. You need to have a brand about yourself, because at some point someone's going to be driving around your neighborhood and they're going to be like, whoa, I see this guy's signs everywhere. And they're going to go and they're going to research you, and they're going to end up on a seller site or a buyer site. Well, a buyer site is not going to convince them to list their home with you. They're just going to look for more properties. That's cool. But a seller site is going to say, hey, why should I hire this person? What's the marketing plan that they offer? What are their guarantees? How do I see what my home is worth? It's like your online resume. This website right here is mine. It's sellerschallenge.com, sellerchallenge.com, and my co-partner Emily here we'll send out a link to that to all you guys. So keep a look at the chat box for us. sellerschallenge.com. So this is something that Relaunch built for us. Beautiful site, simple. Many agents across the agent use it. Sue Adler, Matt Fedek, Wendy Papzan, all these rock star agents that most of you guys know. Okay. Once you're on the website, then you're gonna have other things on there. We're gonna educate them. We're gonna do things like videos. Hey, this is how the guaranteed sale program works. Hey, this is the marketing plan that we're offering. This is how we do virtual staging. This is how we do regular staging. This is how we price your home. You use this as an educational place, so when the consumer feels good about it, then they're gonna jump back on and say, hey, I want to talk to you specifically. And this is where you get the come list me calls. You guys want a lot more come list me calls, don't you? Yes or no? Type it in. Hello? Hello? I got one person, two person, three, hundreds. Good. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Over 2,020 people registered for this call today. Glad to have you guys on here. So this seller site is your branded ego site. Branded ego site. Remember, it's about you. It's only about you. What do you offer? Not about your company, by the way. It's about you. Now, the second site you need, this one will blow your brains away. You're not even going to believe this. This is a home valuation site. Now, you can do these a couple ways. You can go to a company. Lots of companies offer home valuation sites, or you can go out and like hire somebody like Market Leader has housevalues.com and buy valuation leads from them. But most of my business right now from people that I don't know is coming from home valuation sites. Now, you guys can do this, but only for the next hour. You can visit mine. It's submitmyhome.com. Submitmyhome.com. And it's crazy how it works. And everybody else is going to copy me after I say this, but I'm just going to show you how it works. Somebody comes there from a piece of mail, a pay-per-click ad, a Facebook ad, an email, a letter, and then they get to the screen, submitmyhome.com, and all they see is this little box that says, whoa, selling your home or condo, find the true value of your home. All right? So then they type in their address, their city, and they hit submit, and then all of a sudden they're presented to the next screen. Well, here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. At this point, I've already been emailed a lead. What I've been emailed is that somebody from this IP address has typed in this specific address. So now I know that somebody typed in 277 Briar Road. No idea why I put up there. That's my home address. I'm going to regret that. 277 Briar Road. I've been emailed that somebody searched for this address. Well, now the consumer's at this page right here where they got to fill in their first name, their last name, their email address, and hopefully their phone number. If they don't fill this in and they leave, I still have their address. I still have their address. Do you get that? So then I get this lead that says, hey, somebody just searched 277 Briar Road, but they didn't give me their name and email address. Well, that's okay. I'm going to take that address. I'm going to put in the MLS. I'm going to say, hey, is this home already on the market? Was it a canceled expired? When did it sell in the past? I'm going to look in my database, see if it's one of my past clients. I'm going to look and see if it's in my farm. I'm going to Google the address, see if it's on forsalebyowner.com. And in worst case scenario, I'm just going to go knock on the door because I have their address. Do you get it? I'll peek through their window if I have to just to get the listing. This is what I'm going to do. Submitmyhome.com. It was another one built by Real Launch. It'll blow you away. After they fill out this information here, they're going to get sent to this page right here that says, hey, here's a Photoshop picture of Ben. Here's an example of a sample report you're going to get. This is what Zillow tells you your home's worth. High five, this is fabulous. And then we get sent the rest of the information, their name, their email, just email address and their phone number, and then we just pick up the phone and we call them. My goal is never to give them a valuation of their home online, because how could you really tell somebody what their home is worth if you hadn't seen it? So our conversation is pretty simple. Ring, ring. Hello. Hey, this is Ben. Ben Kinney. I just saw that you just went to my home valuation site, submitmyhome.com, and for whatever reason, I didn't get all the information that I need to give you an accurate estimate of your home. And before I get too far into this conversation, I want to ask you a couple quick questions. Why are you curious about the value of your home? Are you guys thinking about selling, or are you looking to refi, or what are you thinking? And then no matter what it is, I'm going to say, well, to give you the most accurate evaluation, I would need to schedule a time to just give you a quick tour, and then I can usually get you within a pretty specific range so you could know what your actual home's worth, and this is a free service that we provide at our company. And then I go and I close for the appointment. The other thing that could happen is they'd be like, whoa, 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 I'm not selling. I'm not selling. I'd be like, no problem. I'd still love to give you a valuation, but just out of curiosity, if you were going to sell, would you sell in 6 months, a year, 3 years, or 5 years? And usually they say, well, we wouldn't sell for 3 years, and no problem. Is there a price that you would sell your home for in 3 years? Well, we'd need to get at least $500,000. Whoa. If I could get you more than that or equal than that now, would you sell it sooner? Well, we might. Could you get that amount of money? I don't know. I haven't seen it. Back to the question. When can I get in? Do you get it? Now, there's information that happens that maybe they only give you an email address. Well, we'll find their phone number. We'll use People Finders. We'll use PIPL.com. We'll search for them on LinkedIn. We'll search for them on Facebook. I'll do whatever I can to gather enough information so that I can be a Mother Teresa after work, but not during work, because at work we're here to get what? Feel free to type that in. All right. So now when we're done, we use a service, and I don't remember how much it is. I think it's $30 a month or something. But Cloud CMA, in like 3 minutes, it pulls in listing data from the MLS, and it creates a CMA for us. So if all we get is an email address, we can at least send them a quick CMA if we had to, or we can use this to deliver something really pretty. If we can't get a hold of them, I'll just take one of these CMAs, put it in an envelope with my resume on top, and I'll knock on the door and leave it on the front steps. Isn't that cool? Now, once you get your tools in order, you have your CMA tools from Cloud CMA, you have your home valuation site from Market Leader or Real Launch or Boomtown or any of these different providers. You pick the one that works for you and works for your budget, or you're buying valuation leads from House Values or one of those other places. I don't care. Then you follow up with them using these types of tools. Well, the next thing you got to do is you got to have a pricing system. You guys on this call today, you wanted systems, right? Hello? Hello? One person? Two person? Yeah, you wanted some systems for pricing? Let me tell you right now that if you have listings and your listings are not pending, they are not priced correctly. I'm just telling you right now, they're not priced right. You could say, hey, whoa, but it's the neighborhood. Well, move the house. Well, I can't move the house. Then reduce the price. You understand me? You have inventory on your shelves. It is your absolute job to sell it. Let me give you some hints. I stole this from just a great guy, Bruce Hardy. Just ripped him off because it was such a smart idea. He came up with these pricing strategies. If your home is priced correctly, you're going to have offers. And we go through this in the listing presentation. If in the first 30 days, if the home's been priced correctly and through our marketing strategy, you'll have offers on your home. Now, if we only have a lot of showings and no offers, we're going to need to reduce the price 4 to 6%. If we have a low amount of showings, we're going to need to reduce the price 6 to 12%. And if all the marketing that I do, all the promotion to real estate agents, all the things that I do online, all the signs, flyers, all the other things that I do to market a home, more than any other agent, by the way, and all we have is people driving by and deciding not to come in, we're going to have to get your home into a new bracket. It's probably at least 10% off. What I would like to do is spend some time evaluating that with you every week or two, and then we can make adjustments to get your home sold to get you where you want to go. So that's the first pricing strategy that we have. We set the expectations up front. To pick the price, we do something called a 5-5-5. A 5-5-5. Now that is 5 actives, 5 pendings, and 5 solds. And that's all I bring to the listing presentation. I bring no CMA, no pre-written price. If you do that, you're an amateur. You can't really pick the price unless you've been in there. Your goal is to bracket the price. Find some comps that match the lower side, find some comps that match the higher side, pick a range that you're willing to list the home at, pick a goal that you'd love, and pick a price that you wouldn't go above, and go in there and show them, here's 5 active properties, same size, same square footage, same lot size, same area, right? Here's 5 pendings and here's 5 solds. Show them all that information. I just use the full agent detail reports, put them right in front of them, and then let them see and decide the actual price. The 5-5-5 is the most accurate way to price a home. It's the most effective way to get sellers to give you the price instead of them arguing with you, because they can't argue with the facts. Because you guys know that in any situation where you take a listing, you have to sell the home 3 times. 3 times. Does anybody know to who? Does anybody know how? Who you got to sell those to? Well, yeah, Mary, thank you. You got to sell it to agents, because they got to show their buyers. You got to sell it to the buyers because they got to write an offer. And then once that's all said and done, you got to sell it again to the bank and or the appraiser that are giving the loan. You got to sell a home 3 times. And where do you think they're going to get their information? The same place as you, the MLS, right? The 5-5-5 will give you that ability. Now, if you have too low of inventory, you may have to do a 3-3-3, but lower inventory usually just means that homes sell faster and you can more accurately and smaller bracket it. If you have a rare home, you just got to go wider. We were looking at homes, did a listing presentation yesterday for a $2.7 million home. There's only been 1 in our entire county that sold in 2 years. I got to go wider to come up with enough sold comps and enough pending comps to even justify this listing price. That's what you got to do. Just something that happened. 555. When we do our next call, our listing presentation, I'll go into this more deeply for you guys if you guys actually want to come back to another one of my webinars. If this webinar sucks, by the way, just let me know and I'll leave too. The next thing that we got to do is we got to have listing systems. Listing systems. What I'm talking about is, what do you do once you start the conversation? So here's my seller information sheet. I said seat, I meant sheet. My seller information sheet. This is what I use when I get the call. Now ask any of my staff, when I get a listing call coming into my phone, I put the sheet in front of me, I grab a pen, and I start filling it out. This goes through the questions that I need to answer before I can go on a listing appointment. The seller information sheet. It's just a system that we've used. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is my new listing checklist. Hey, what are all the things that I need to have organized so that I can get a listing on the market? What are all the forms, etc., etc. Next thing is what are the reports that I'm going to give the seller? Hey, what are my property progress reports? What are the letters and the surveys that I'm going to send out? You know, people have this funny myth. They say, hey, if you have a real estate team, you don't care about customer service because nobody could serve the customers better than I could. That's stupid. That's an ego-driven, ridiculous response. When you go into the doctor's office, do you deal only with the doctor? No, you deal with the nurse. You deal with the staff. You deal with the billing department. Same thing with me. I'm the best at negotiating contracts. I'm the best at marketing and making those decisions and lead gen. Everything else needs to be done by somebody else. Get what I'm saying? You need to have these types of systems. You know, what is our listing specialist sheets? If you have members of your staff, what are the systems that you're going to use to hold them accountable? How many listings are you taking? How many listings presentations did we go on? How many price reductions did we get? How many radio calls did we get? How many calls from our online advertising, from our farming? You need to have systems. John Maxwell says systems make the ordinary extraordinary. Systems can make the ordinary extraordinary. If you're ordinary like me and you want to achieve at an exceptional, extraordinary level, what do you need? Type that in. Hello? Hello? Anybody? Killing me. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Systems. We need systems. That's what you need. Well, you're going to need your pending checklist because you're going to need a system once you sell it, because I know you guys want to sell them, right? You're going to need a system for canceling. Oh, hey, God forbid that one of your listings canceled or expires, but you still got to have a process to handle it. You're going to have a process to handle your sold listings as well, right? What do you do? When do you take down the signs, et cetera, et cetera? This is what's going to allow you to keep organized. Now, some of you guys, did anybody on this call like kind of feel that I've been quiet the last year? Hello? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah, I've been quiet. I locked myself in the room with a bunch of freaky, crazy, genius-like developers, and we've been building stuff. Some of the stuff we've been building is going to blow you away. It's going to change the future of real estate. I can't show you that one today. I can show you some of the stuff that it's going to blow you away. So we built this system called Brivity. Brivity allows me to manage all my listings, manage all of my pendings, manage all my staff, market all my listings, and communicate with all my clients. I'm going to show it to you for about a minute, and then I'm going to move on to a lot more important stuff. Now, Brivity, what happens, and I don't care if you do this on Google Docs or a spreadsheet or a check paper sheet. I don't care. If you guys want a copy of my paper sheets, I'll just give them to you because we're using technology because we got to get faster. So you'll see here. Here's a list of all my active listings. This is my actual business, right? So here's a list of all the listings that we have to manage right now. And we need to go through there and we need to make sure that all these things are handled. I need to know how many are pending, how many active, how many are sold, blah, 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 blah. Then I have a list of, hey, what needs to get done today? And this is an actual screenshot of what needed to get done yesterday. So we got a feature listing on Craigslist. We had to review commission disbursement. We had to change the status of a property. We had to follow up with escrow. We had to do all these things. And you see that each one of those tasks has a checkbox. When you check the checkbox, that information gets rolled up to a daily or a weekly email that gets sent to your clients that says, hey, congratulations, here's the 17 things that Ben did to get your listing sold today. Here are the 17 things that Ben's done to get your listing sold today. As you can see on this list, it's differentiated. You see the different pictures of different people there? These are the different people that have to do that task. So for a lot of you guys, that picture is all going to be you. But hopefully in the future, you'll have different people. You have a pending person, a listing person, a marketing person, etc. But it divides the tasks out. This system was created to make sure that every one of your clients gets treated exactly the same, that your staff never forgets to do anything, that all of your listings get sold and all your pendings get closed, right? To keep everybody organized and to handle the #1 complaint in real estate. The #1 complaint is, hey, I listed my home with a real estate agent and I never heard from him again. How many people have heard that happen from a seller complaining about another person? Hello? Yeah, it happens all the time. So what I do when I go in my listing presentation, I say, you know what? I could tell right now that you're a little frustrated with the amount of communication that the previous agent gave you. And what I've done is I've created a system where I commit to communicating with you every single week, and that whenever I do something, you're going to get an email. And I break this out in my listing presentation. I just show them. I just say, hey, here's Sean. Thanks for letting me list your property on Lake Whatcom. Here is the list of things that I've done this week. I got the title insurance reviewed. I put your property on YouTube. I put it on MLS. I've featured on Facebook. I put it on Zillow. I put it on Trulia, et cetera, et cetera. I just give them a list of everything that I do. It gets emailed automatically out every day or every week, depending on what the seller wants. Here's all the showings you had, et cetera, et cetera. Constant communication. If you do that, not only will you get your listing sold faster and you'll have less canceled and expires, but you'll increase the amount of referrals that are coming into your business. How many people here want more referrals? Hello? That's what I'm talking about, right? Now, when the sellers get that email, they click on a link and it takes them to this page here. This page right here will give them a list they can access 24 hours a day of everything that we're doing to market their property. All the feedback, all the tasks that my staff's completed and who did it, where it's advertised, and when they click on realestate.com or Zillow.com or any of those brokerage websites or any of those places, they go to their listing on that site. Not just the homepage, they go to their listing. They can access all the showings, anything they want, constant communication. This is what's going to allow you to grow your team. Now, I'll tell you that what systems have done for us is that when you create an action plan like you see on the screen for every one of your listings, you make sure that every seller gets treated the same. You make sure that the task is divided equally amongst your staff, and you make sure that you have lots of client satisfaction. This will allow you to take time off. This will allow you to have a more organized business. I have one girl, Johanna, amazing. She manages between 250 and as high as 698 listings at a time with one person. You know how many other teams in the nation use 4 people to do that? I use 1. I have 1 pending person, Jen, phenomenal. What she does, she manages 150 pendings, both buy sides and list sides, at any given time. Well, I'm looking right now. We're down a little bit. We have 120 pendings right now. She's managing all those at the moment. 1 person, because she has a system and a tool. Do you have a system to make sure that your staff is absolutely more effective? And the last thing we do is, do you have a system to communicate with your clients where all your database is put in there? Lots of different tools that you could use. Now, the next thing that we do is we're talking about, and this is a snapshot of what you guys will see in the future that nobody knows about, but we're building this tool called Blosser. It's going to blow you guys away. It's going to change the way things work. I just typed into this tool, Blosser, my name, and it showed me all the homes that I've sold in Washington. So when I'm meeting with clients, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm showing them, here, this is my success. This is what I've done to validate it. A lot of people sit back and they say, hey, I don't like how Ben Kinney compares himself to other agents. Well, I'm not comparing myself to you guys. You guys are on the call learning out there knocking out of the park. I'm comparing myself to the average agent in our MLS that sells 2.98 homes a year. I don't consider anybody on this call a 2.98 sales a year person. You guys can compare yourselves to them all day long, and that's what I do. The average agent in my market sells 2.98 homes. This is what I sell. Look at the map. This is why you got to work with me. If an agent sells 2.98 homes a year, do you think they have enough money to feed their family, let alone market your property? No, they don't. When you sell this many homes, you have the ability to invest enough money into getting your home sold for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. Are you kidding me? We gotta dominate this market. It's your guys' time. It's your turn to own this market. Well, the next thing you got to ask, had a great coaching session this morning with two of my favorite people, and we were talking about the future of a business person is about asking them the question, the who. Well, if you're new to the business, Angela, it's about you. What are you going to do in the first year? Now, I say every agent should strive to sell 24 homes a year. If you can sell 24 homes a year, you should be thinking about who's the next hire in your life. The next hire, you're going to start imagining, just sitting back and saying, who would I want to be in business with? Who would I want to be in business with? What would that person look like? What would their behavioral profile be? What would their DISC be? What would their AVA be? What would their primary jobs be in their business? Well, if you don't have any staff right now, their primary job is to free you up so that you can make calls and go on listing appointments. Do you get it? That is your job. Everything these other people do that work for you is to give you time to do that. Well, over time, you're going to make your very first hire, and your very first hire is going to be an admin. When I hired Jolene, we went from 26 sales or 25 sales to 84. Do you see what a difference the right hire makes? Once you get to 84, even with an assistant, you're stressing out because you're losing your nights and your weekends. You don't want to do that, right? You don't want to get home and your dog hates you and your spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, whatever, doesn't like you. Kids don't recognize you. Doors are changed. You know what I mean? You want to have a life worth living. Well, as your business grows, you're going to need to make your next hire. The next hire is a buyer's agent. The buyer's agent is going to be the person that frees up your time. Why do we give up buyers first? Because you can handle 40 or 50 listings. A buyer's agent can handle 8 to 10 buyers. The next thing you're going to do is you don't focus on making yourself rich. The money comes. You focus on making others rich. Do you get that? If you spend your whole life going around thinking about how do I help 10 people in my life become millionaires, you attract to different types of people. If you're going around and thinking to yourself, how do I become a millionaire? You're a knucklehead. You'll always be poor. Think about making other people rich. So my thought was, how do I help buyer's agents become rich? Well, for me, the buyer's agents is going to be, hey, how do I help them hire a showing agent? Because a buyer's agent can only serve, close 36 to 48 deals a year if they're good. Then they're going to run out of time. They're going to run out of time because they're spending all their time driving buyers around, which means they're going to need a showing agent. Why am I going through this with you today? You thought this call was about listings. It is. You don't have enough time to take listings right now because you're driving buyers around. That's dumb. Start thinking about leverage. Let's get out there. Let's hire some buyer's agents. Let's get them to being successful, selling 36 to 48 homes a year. Let's hire them a showing agent so you have more time to do what? Type that in there right now. Hello? Hello? List. Exactly. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Joe. We're going to list. Now, the next thing you're going to hire, because you're going to need more appointments for you to go on because you can't prospect for listings and go on a lot of listing appointments, you're going to need an inside salesperson or you're going to need a telemarketer. Now, in one of our following calls, I'll tell you how to hire them and how to pay them, but right now I'm just going to tell you that you need one. You need one because you need to spend your time on listing appointments. That's the hardest job on the planet. I went on 240 listing appointments. I listed 217 because I do the same presentation every time, and I've mastered it. See, then when I replaced myself and I went to the next hire of a listing agent, I had him do my listing agent, or I had him do all my listing appointments. And the most humbling thing on the planet for me, guys, was that when Nathan started going on listing appointments for me, nobody cared that I didn't show up. Can you believe that? Nobody cared that I wasn't there. We still got the same amount of listings. Isn't that weird? That's a hit to our ego. I thought our clients only wanted to work with me. I thought my sphere would only list their home with me. No, because I'm the doctor now. Unfortunately, we need to schedule an appointment. I'm going to have you meet with my nurse first. You're going to go through all these other things, and then that's it. You rarely get to see the doctor if you have a good doctor, but you shouldn't. Your doctor has more important things to do. Your telemarketers, your ISAs are going to be the ones that are converting leads for you and setting appointments so that you either can afford a listing agent or you can go on more listings yourself. And then over time, you're going to have special admins, maybe marketing managers, people in the Philippines. I use myoutdesk.com for my Craigslist postings and flyer management and marketing management because I can have that done in the Philippines for half the price of what I pay my amazing staff here for. So special admin might be VAs for you guys. Well, the next thing, you're going to start thinking about, hey, what is my replacement? Remember I said I worked 5 or 6 hours a week last year, and I took 1 week off a month, and our team increased in business. At some point, you need to replace yourself so you can get into other businesses. Not that I didn't work 40 or 50 hours, because I do. I just worked on other things, working on my other businesses, building some crazy software that's going to blow your minds. Now, you guys are all here today probably because you want to know this. Where am I going to get some leads? I'm talking about listing leads. How many people on the call right now would like some listing leads? I got a lot of yos and whys and yeses, hellos and heck yes, and absolutely, and Spanish answers. I like it. All right, we need some leads. All right, here's where we get paid. Now, listing leads are going to come from 5 areas. Now, there's more. If you go to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book and you go to page 138, there's a whole list of them. But here's what I'm thinking about. We need to work our sphere, our friends and family, anybody that knows us. That's a sphere. We need to do farming. That means we're going to be the neighborhood experts. We need to do prospecting. That means we got to pick up the phone. If you don't want to pick up the phone, you need to hire somebody to pick up the phone for you. Okay? It's just a piece of the business. We need to have some internet lead generation, and we need to do some brand marketing. I'm thinking radio, TV, that kind of stuff. I'm going to go through some things for you, some examples, and how we're going to do it. Now, let's just talk about sphere for a minute. And I could do a whole call for an hour for you guys, and I might do it for you if you want on how to work your sphere. I'm just going to say that you got to have a plan to do it. My plan is very simple. I'm going to call them every month. I'm going to mail them every month. I'm going to email them twice a month. I'm going to visit them 3 times a year. And I'm going to bother them on social media, LinkedIn, I'm going to endorse them. Twitter, I'm going to retweet them, favorite, that sort of stuff. Facebook, comment, like, that sort of things. Once a month. So you add those all up, that's 63 touches in a year. How many people on the call are touching their sphere 63 times a year and not going to jail? That is a lot of touches. But it's good, because if you give them items of value, they aren't going to care. Let me ask you a question. If I gave you a $100 bill, would you accept it? Yeah. Everybody on the call is typing in the chat box saying, well, I take a $100 bill. Well, when I give my sphere a phone call, when I give my sphere a piece of email or I mail them something, I'm giving them an item of value. I'm giving them a $100 bill. I'm not sending them that spammy, junky, pre-written GARP that you get in other systems. I'm sending them something of value, something that's going to help and improve their lives. So they want to be touched that many times. So it look like a Michael Jackson video. That's how many touches they're going to get. Well, the first thing I want you to think about is, what are you going to say to them? Just pick up the phone and call your sphere. I want you to say a couple things to them. You ready? Number 1, I want everybody on this call, I want you just to pick up the phone and call them, and I want you to say, what are your real estate-related plans for the year? Whoa. What are your real estate-related plans for the year? Hey, here's what I was thinking. I was thinking about taking a vacation. If you've seen me lately, you can tell that I'm not tan. I'm thinking about taking a vacation, getting in the sun. Before I do that, I wanted to call my past clients, my friends, family, you guys, and say, what are your real estate-related plans for the year? Because I want to plan a couple of vacations, and if I know what your guys' plans are, I'll plan it around getting all of your needs taken care of because you guys mean so much to me. Is that easy? Hello? Just pick up the phone and call them and ask them what the real estate-related plans for the year? That's not hard. All right. Next thing I want you to say, and I got this from Diana Kokoska, one of my mentors, she said, who do you know that I should know? Who do you know that I should know? And I use it all the time. I use it on buyer leads. I use it on seller leads, prospecting. I use it on my sphere. It's just, who do you know that I should know that might be interested in selling their property? See, the thing is, I'm trying to help two families move into Bellingham, and they've looked at all the homes that are currently available, and they can't find anything that matches them. So I told them I would call through everybody I know that lived in Bellingham to see if they knew anybody that was thinking about selling, so I could get them into a home. Would you be willing to help them? That's easy. I'm calling and asking for listings and tying it to the people that I'm trying to help move here. Okay? Well, the next thing we're going to do is farming. Well, I'm not an expert farmer, just started last year. I started last year because my listing inventory went down. My listing inventory went down because all the canceled expireds were going away because they were all selling. The REOs were reducing, the short sales were reducing, and I had to figure out another way to get listings. So what I did is I went around the nation, I figured out who were the top agents in the nation that did geographic farming, and I found a couple. Kurt Bueller, great example, Flower Mound, Texas. Kinney in Phoenix, Arizona. Both of which, top 10 agents in the nation, makes over $2 million a year, both of them, right? The Rhodes team and from Dallas as well makes over, I don't know, $4 million a year, and they all do farming. That's where most of their business comes from. Well, Kinney created a designation called CLME, and that's what I did. Don't tell him this, but I just ripped him off. I took the CLME class, I took his farming letter, I took his approach, and I just ripped it off and I plugged it in. See, you guys don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's already smarter people out there. Just rip them off. That's what I do. Yeah, just steal their ideas. To be honest, you pick up the phone and call them, they give it to you. So here's what Kinney taught me. Kinney said, hey, when you're selecting your farm, you got to pick a location. You got to make sure that that location has a high turnover rate. Don't just pick an area because they have a high price point. If the only way people leave is in an ambulance, you don't want to farm that area. They aren't going to remember to call you if they're dead. You got to be able to pick areas that have a high turnover rate. I'm thinking of 5% of the total number of homes there, 5% turnover every year. That would be an awesome goal. And make sure the price point supports what your average price is or a higher point than where you want. The next thing you want is hey, what's the competition like in that neighborhood? Is there a whole bunch of other people farming it, or is there nobody else doing it? The nice thing is that when all the other real estate agents and other companies ran out of money, they all stopped mailing. They all stopped farming. They all stopped doing these things. Because they stopped doing those things, there's no competition. They ran out of money. They're broke. You guys have a head start. If you don't know what's going on in that market, drive through the neighborhood. See who has for sale signs out. Ask the neighbors if they get any forms of mail from realtors. Just think about who's making a presence online, etc. Now, the next thing that you do is go to every door direct. Every door direct. It's eddm.usps.gov or .com or something. I don't know. Google every door direct. Every door direct will tell you how many people live in a specific zip code. And in each one of those zip codes is divided out by carrier routes, smaller segments of people, which you see on my screen range from 100 to 600 people. And then you can mail to entire carrier routes. If you farm an entire carrier route and you give a mail piece to everybody in that area, your postage is 16 cents. 16 cents. Isn't that awesome? That's way less than whatever a postage stamp is. So what we do is we mail out one piece of mail every month to that farm area. And we're doing 22,000 doors in Bellingham, everybody in the 98225 zip code and some in the 98229. So we're starting with that. As we start getting results, then we'll move on to the next zip code, and we'll keep adding. But I started with a budget that worked for me. You guys may have a smaller budget. Start with a smaller. Start with 500, 1,000, or 2,000 homes. I started with 2,000 or 22,000. It's up to you. Now, the way we work our farm is we send postcards. By the way, your postcards are going to be things like, come see what your home is worth. So if you're going to send that postcard, what do you got to have? You got to have a home valuation site. You get it? Home valuation site, that's where you send them to. You got to have we send out newsletters every month. We call them. We do stuff on site, which means, we're involved in the schools, we're involved in the neighborhoods, we're at the businesses. You come to Bellingham and hang out with me for a day, you go to any restaurant in town that I go to, they know who I am. They know me by name because I spend the time to get to know these people. We do events. Hey, come see this author speak. Come to this training that we're hosting. Come to this movies in the park. Come to this amazing home race. We do events in that farm area that get people excited. Right now we're sponsoring the outdoor cinema there. So every Saturday night in the summer people can come to the outdoor cinema brought to you by Ben Kinney. Now, give you an example. Here's the newsletter. I just took Kinney Kloss's newsletter and then I made it prettier with my picture, if you get what I'm saying. And I made a newsletter that wasn't just about me. On the front it has my branding. It says Live Bellingham, has an event calendar, community news, business news. So the first thing that I do is I have a list of everything that's going on in the community. Wow. I went over to a real estate agent's mother's house and she had my magazine hanging on her fridge. And that agent was cracking up laughing mad because her mom had my flyer on their fridge. Well, the reason they had it was because they liked my events page. They like to know what's going on there. Now, from those magazine ads, I send them to either my branded site, come research me, come see if you want to work with me as your listing agent. And then in additional, I have all sorts of other stuff in the newsletter we send out. Come see what your home or condo is worth. Fast and free evaluation. Visit submitmyhome.com. And then I give them a whole list of recent sales. Those aren't my sales. Those are sales that happened in the market. And on the bottom it says the listing information is provided by the Northwest MLS, blah, blah, blah. I am the source of information. I'm constantly educating these people. And then from those ads, you'll see all over the place, I direct them back to my home valuation site. You get it? Home valuation site. I'm trying to capture leads. So if they don't actually give us their name and email addresses, I get at least one thing, which is their address. They type it in there. I'll just go out and knock on their door and say, hey, I saw that you visited our home valuation site. That for whatever reason, I didn't get your information. It got cut off on my email that was sent to me. So I just want to drop you off a quick CMA of what's going on in the neighborhood. There's nothing wrong with that. Go knock on some doors. It's good for you. Home valuation site, mine is submitmyhome.com. Once again, that's a real launch product. The other thing that we do is we make sure that our online presence matches our offline presence. So you remember the name of the newsletter that I send out? It's called the Live Bellingham. So we build city guides. Here's Live Roseville, great agent down in the Sacramento area has this. But we have the same Live City Guides products where we send people to our city guides. That city guides matches the brand of the newsletter. We make sure that our brand is the same throughout the entire community. Think about creating a city guide. Think about creating a resource where people could go on and research if they wanted to live in the area or what's going on in the area. If you don't want to build your own city guide, you can have somebody build it, or you can use things like Nextdoor, or you could just have a WordPress blog and blog about the neighborhood, whatever you want. I don't care. Just have a resource for consumers. The other thing that I do is on my city guides is I put my favorite businesses on there. So the girl that cuts my hair, she sends me a couple of referrals a year. So when you click on hairstylist, guess who's listed? Her. My electrician, my builder, the place that I like to grocery shop, my favorite restaurants. I use my city guides and my newsletters as ways to showcase my favorite businesses. Now, if you showcased a whole lot of your businesses, do you think that those people might start sending you business? And what I do sometimes when I go in there is I just go into the business and I'll say, you know, John, I was thinking about you, and when I thought about who the best electrician was in town, your name came up. It was just you. And I wanted to know right now, would it be okay if I referred you more business? Are you accepting new clients this year? Now, from time to time, I send out newsletters, letters, coupons, things to my database and to the neighborhoods of Bellingham. Would it be okay if I showcased your business in those publications? And if you would like to give a discount, 10% off or a free appetizer or whatever your business is, just let me know, and I'll glad to send out a coupon on your behalf. I'm here to help you grow your business. Now, in return, at some point, I would like to be your realtor of choice, and if somebody asks you for business, I hope that you would refer me. Now, these are something that I started. This is how I started my business, by the way. In 2004, I created something called Live City Guides, and you can check them out at livecityguides.com, but it was just a way for me to find people that didn't already have a real estate agent, people that were researching living in Bellingham or living in Seattle, etc. livecityguides.com. Now, online farming tools is going to be things like, hey, you're going to do some pay-per-click advertising. When somebody searches homes for sale or home prices in Bellingham, is your website coming up? You can have somebody, market leader, Boomtown, different people manage your pay-per-click, or you can go to AdWords.com and teach yourself to do it. We'll do a class on that coming up. I'll just teach you guys how to do it. You got to have websites, city guides, or WordPress blogs, or Facebook groups. Live Love Charlotte was a good example of what Lisa did, or things like 365 things to do in this city, and you can make a Facebook page. I don't care. Just create a place online where people can get neighborhood information. Featured businesses. That's one way that you do it. Like, go into a business and say, hey, I would like to feature you on my city guide this month. Would it be okay if I put a sticker on your window that says featured restaurant on livebellingham.com? What? That would be awesome if you could get every business in town advertising for you and your brand by you simply going out there and showcasing them. Kinney Kloss in his CLME class taught me how to do that. He goes out there and he interviews businesses and says, hey, what is your tell me about your business. What do you guys do? Great. I'm going to videotape you, etc. Would it be okay if I shared that on my city guide? Would it be okay if I shared that on my Facebook page? I'll give you a copy of the video for you to send out. And at the beginning and the end of the video, Kinney just has a whole list of, or he has his logo, his own branding. So he's leveraging their audience. Think about how you can siphon audiences off from other places. Now, prospecting, this is where everybody drops off the call. I just lost one guy. Some guy just dropped off the call, so there's room for one more person to sign in now. Prospecting, he didn't want to prospect. He's a lazy agent. I'm talking about picking up the phone. Mojo. My goal when I got started in real estate, I didn't have any cool tools. All I had was a phone, right, and a desk. And I sat down and I knew that if I dialed 52 people, I would get one listing appointment. 52 people, I could get one listing appointment. That's it. All I had to do. I dial 52 people. I talk to about 15. I get one listing appointment. That's pretty good, right? I could call straight from the phone book or straight from one of my lead sources or canceled expires. It doesn't matter. But now there's tools like Mojo where I could dump a whole lot of people in there, and it'll dial for me. I can dial. I think my inside sales guys, some of my top agents, they could dial 400, 500 people before noon, and it automatically leaves voicemails for them. Check out Mojo. Go to mojosales.com. You don't even know why yet, but it's going to blow your mind some of the things that they do, and they do check the do not call list. Now, what I did in the beginning is I had a system for tracking what we do, is I would track how many emails that I made, how many calls that I made, how many responses I got, how many people answered, and how many appointments I got, and I would summarize it every single day so I could keep track of my productivity. This is the same sheet we use for our inside sales, same sheet we use for our buyer's agents, the same sort of sheet that you guys should be using for all of your systems. You guys need to keep track of what you're doing. Well, now your technology, like your market leader sites, they'll track how many emails you sent. Your Boomtown sites will track how many calls you made, how many emails you're doing. Mojo will tell you how many dials you made, how much time you spent on the phone, how many calls were answered, et cetera, et cetera. Technology is getting rid of some of these archaic systems, and we're building tools that helps my team do this more efficiently so we don't have to use this paper junk anymore. But this still works. It's good. Now, prospecting, who are you going to call? We're going to call canceleds. We're going to call expireds. We're going to call FSBOs. We're going to call default lists. We're going to call neighborhoods. We're going to call just lists, just solds. We're just going to call. These are probably your bread and butter. These are the 6 people you should be calling. Now, you got to have a system to do it. My system's pretty easy. I print out all the canceled expireds every day. I call them that morning. If they don't answer, I put them in tomorrow's call. If they don't answer tomorrow, I put them in the next day. I call everybody once a day for a week, and every week After that, I call them once a week until they list with somebody else, list with me, or they die. That's just how I do it. Now, you could have other systems like circle prospecting. This will blow you away, is that I'm using the Mojo lead store. There isn't enough canceled expireds right now in our market, so I'll just go pick a neighborhood. I'm going to take, everything in the Alabama Hill neighborhood, and I'm going to go to Mojo's lead store and say, I want 500 people in there. And they will pull 500 names, phone numbers, and addresses for me. They'll scratch them through the do not call list. They'll load it in the dialer, and I'll just put my headset on, and I'll just call through the neighborhood. Hey, this is a quick call. I'm doing this as a favor for one of my clients. They are trying to move into your neighborhood, and they can't find anything that's available. What I would like to do is see if you or anybody you know might be interested in selling their property. And if so, please give me a call back. I would like to help this family get moved in before school starts in September. Hang up, move on. Hang up, move on. Now, the way it does is you just pick a point, like 1234 Main Street, and say, I want 100 people around that. So you could do the same thing with the Mojo lead store for just listeds or just sold calls. Every time you take a listing, call 500 people around that listing. Every time you're going to do an open house, call 250 people around that open house and invite them. That's how you get 100 people through your open house. Wouldn't that change your world? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about online advertising. How can we drive people from our online advertising pieces to get onto your site? Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do pay-per-click advertising. Not pay-per-click, pay-per-click. When somebody types in Bellingham home values, how much is my home worth, Seattle home prices, they're going to see an ad that says, your home's guaranteed. Your home guaranteed ad is going to send them to a sellerchallenge.com sort of website, a branded one, because they're hiring you. The other ones you're going to advertise is going to be see what your home is worth. When they click on that, they're going to go to an unbranded website like your Submit Your Home, those home valuation sites. You can leverage pay-per-click advertising to get leads today. If you guys want leads today, you could get it. Pay-per-click advertising. And you're going to send them, of course, to your valuation site. Mine is submitmyhome.com. Well, the next thing you can do is you can do some Facebook advertising. I know that half of your teams are spending half their day on Facebook anyway, so we might as well figure out a way to get paid from it. Now, you could do Facebook advertising by going to facebook.com/ads and creating an ad. And that ad is going to be, you can set it up to advertise to whoever you want. Hey, I want to advertise to everybody in the United States, specifically that are in Bellingham, that are within 10 miles, that are over a specific age group, that are this gender, that like to golf, that like horseback riding, that are connected to this fan page, that are connected to this business, whatever you want. You can make it as niche-y as possible and drive a ton of leads. What I would start with is sending people to your valuation site to see, hey, what is my home worth? What is my home worth? And run it to everybody within 20 miles of your city. Next thing you could do is you could do some branded ads after you've sent them to your valuation site. You can continue to advertise on Facebook where, here's one of our old ads. Isn't as good now because people are, things are getting better in our market. But I just took a picture of me and put it upside down. I actually look a lot better that way. And I just put upside down on your home. You need to sell your home. And I run that on Facebook. And every time they log in, they're stuck seeing it. The thing that I do is I say, need to sell your home, but oh, too much, contact us, we can short sell your home. The ad's been changed now to need to sell your home, but don't think you have equity. You might be surprised. See what your home is worth. Visit here. That's cool, huh? You can run other ads. Interview one of my competitors before you hire me, and I'll give you $500 off our marketing fee because I want you to know that nobody does more to get your home sold than I do here. This is branded advertising. So every time they log in, they're looking at your picture and your brand. This is where you're not advertising your brokerage. You're doing the legal requirements that you have to, but you're making it about you. And they're going to keep seeing these. The nice thing with Facebook ads is you only get charged if they click on it. Now, those branded ads, you're going to send them to a seller site. They're going to send them to a site about you. The unbranded ad, the home valuation things, you're going to send them to the submitmyhome.com. The branded advertising, you're going to send them to the sellerschallenge.com, the benkinney.com, the carissaocker.com, the specificagents.com, your branded site. Now, The other forms of advertising that you could do is going to be marketing. I'm talking about TV, radio, PR, print advertising, that sort of stuff. Now that's going to be, hey, should I think about doing some things on the screen? And on the screen you have a couple of examples. I'm not talking about just TV ads. I'm talking about all the different on-screen advertising you can do. Running television ads. You guys might be surprised how cheap it is to actually run an ad on TV. I'm talking about running ads on YouTube, or just putting videos on YouTube. You can do it for free. You know, get a green room in your office, get some videos, just start making video content. Ken Renner in Austin, Texas does an amazing job at it. Just go check out his YouTube channel. I'm talking about advertising in movie theaters. Go to youtube.com/Mr. Ben Kinney and see some of my ridiculously stupid ads of a hamster dancing in front of my logo that people love at the movie theater. They don't want to be sold in some of those places. They want to be entertained. The next thing is you can email videos out to your database, to your past clients, to your current clients, to your leads. Come here to see what your home was worth. If you're thinking about selling your home, check this out. Here's information on how to short sell your home. Here's 5 ways to virtually stage your home. Here's ways to do staging for your property. Educate the people. And if you're like me and you're cheap, the video advertising, the commercials that I run on TV and in the movie theaters, I made on Fiverr. Fiverr is Fiverr.com, and it costs you $5 to make a video. How many people on the call can afford $5? Hello? Fiverr.com. $5. If you can't, give me a call. I'll send you $5. Go there, create a video on Fiverr. It'll blow you away. Blow you away. Now, if you want to see some of my videos, go to youtube.com/Mr. Ben Kinney. Because some dog took /Ben Kinney, I had to put Mr. in front of it. I know it's dumb, but you'll see some of the examples. My ads are silly, but they get responses. Now, other things you can do is you can compare and contrast what you're doing. What I did is I took all the listings that I sold that were previously listed by another company. I made a video on Animoto, I think for free, that said this company had the home on the market for 180 days. They could not sell it. I sold it in 6. Then I go to the next competitor site. This company had the home on the market for 300 days. They could not sell it. I sold it in 90. And I go through every competitor that I can think of in my town. I make the video, and I send it out to canceled expireds to say, I specialize in selling homes that have resisted sales in the past, Now, you could do radio advertising. Radio advertising isn't rocket science. You could go out there and hire somebody to do it for you, like Matt Wagner is pretty well known in the industry for being a guy that does a good job of radio advertising, or you could do it yourself. The only thing that you got to do is you got to follow the radio rules. This is the radio rules that I've learned from interviewing top agents across the nation. The first thing is you got to have fixed position ads. What that means is you're going to run your ad at the same time every single day of the week. The next thing is it's got to be celebrity endorsed, which means you're not going to be saying, hey, my name is Ben Kinney and I'm great. You're going to be having whoever the radio show host of the morning is, whoever the traffic guy is, or somebody that they recognize saying, hey, I don't know if you're thinking about selling your home or not, but if you are, there's only one agent you can call. You got to call Ben Kinney at XYZ Realty because he does this, this, and this. That is a way better endorsement than you going on there and patting yourself on the back. The next thing is you got to run your ads first to break. First to break means you're the first commercial to run during the commercial break. Because what do you guys do when the commercial comes on the radio? Hello? Hello? Anybody? I have 1,000 people. Yeah, you turn the channel. You walk away, right? So if you're going to run an ad, make sure that yours is the first one in the break. First to break. Radio stations know what you're talking about. And then the next thing you want is you want a live read. If at all possible, you want the people to read the ad every single day live for you. The reason is because when they do that, they improv. And when they improv, you're going to pay for a 30-second spot, but you're going to end up getting a 45-second or a 35-second or a minute-long commercial. And the more you butter them up, the more gifts you send them, and the more time you spend with them and take them to lunch, the longer those ads are going to be. And all of a sudden you'll see that people just start improvising, and they're like, I was driving by and I saw Ben's for sale sign go up, and I went by on Monday and he already had a sold sign on it. Can you believe it? When I tried to sell my home in the past before I met Ben, we had the home on the market for a year. Man, I'm glad I met him. And you just get that sort of improv happening on there. And then you got to compare and contrast. Talk about the average agent. I know agents don't like me for doing this, but it's the truth. Talk about what you spend compared to the average agent. Talk about what you sell compared to the average agent. It's how you get people to understand that you're a great agent. You realize that if you sell 24 homes a year, you are roughly 8 times, 800% better than the average agent. Use that number. Use that number. And then make strong offers. If you need to know what your home is worth, curious what your home would sell for, you got to visit this online tool. It's free. Go to submitmyhome.com to see what your home is worth. Or, you know, you got to call his agent. If Ben can't sell your home in 90 days, he'll sell it for free. Hey, you know, if you don't think you have enough equity in your home, here's what you should do. Go buy one of Ben's listings, because if you buy one of Ben's listings, he will sell your home for free. Make strong offers. Get the phone to ring. In reality, most of the time it's not applicable to them, but if it is, who cares? They become your new raving fans. It's not bait and switch. It's giving them opportunities that if they qualify, it's a win, but if not, they're still working for you, and working with you is the best thing possible. And those radio ads, guess where you send them? You send them to your seller site, sellerschallenge.com, or you send them to your home valuation site, submitmyhome.com. And when you add all of those things up, you realize that you're coming into this world, but now I have listings, and from those listings I'm generating leads, and with those leads I can now afford a showing agent, a buyer's agent. I can have an amazing life worth living. I'm building a business. I no longer have a job. I want you guys to think about, how do you allow the people on your team to have a business? That's how you hire showing agents for them, etc. How do you allow yourself to have a business that has reserves, that has net income, that has a life worth living, we aren't working so many hours, that provides a high level of customer communication, a high level of customer service? Because in the end, you guys want to get paid. Now, I want you guys to get paid. I want you guys to make a lot of money. Some of the things we talked about today was Market Leader. They've been a great friend of me for a long time, and Boomtown has been a great tool that I've used for my team, and CLME taught me how to farm, and Mojo Sells is my prospecting tool, and Real Launch, we put a lot of time and energy to making great products there. My friends at Happy Grasshopper, who helped me communicate to my past clients and send them great material that's like handing a $100 bill out to them, and Brivity, this project that I've been locked in a room, and I've spent, you know, almost $500,000 building to make a great product for the real estate industry. Now, if you have more questions after this call, go to facebook.com/Brivity, go to briv.it/KWFR, and I'll give you the script for my listing presentation. And then in a week or two, I will schedule another call, and I will commit to keep educating you guys for free for the rest of this year if you guys keep showing up. My only request is that if you guys enjoyed this call, you keep telling other people in your office, in your area, to join it. I want to get the attendance up on these things. I want to keep breaking GoToMeeting. I hope that you guys love this call today. I love teaching. I love sharing with you guys. And type in your comments and your questions. I'll be here for a little bit. The rest of you guys, it's lead generation time. Get off the phone. Go make some phone calls. Go list some properties. Start thinking about who, and get the heck out of here. Bye.